Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2025 BMW M8 Competition Coupe. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description below. This M8 is finished off in black sapphire metallic, and the MSRP is just over $157,000. Now this is powered by the 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic, and it pumps out 617 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the all-wheel drive system, propelling this 4,200 pound coupe from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. It has a top speed up to 189 miles an hour. This also has a fuel capacity of 20.1 gallons, and you can expect to see 15 miles per gallon in the city and 22 out on the highway. Now this has a wheelbase of 111.3 inches. Its overall length is 191.8. It has a width of 75.1 and a height of 53.6 inches. Now as we take a look at the exterior styling, this is the last model year for the M8 Competition Coupe. The Gran Coupe and the Convertible are still going to be produced for the 26-year model. So if you're looking for the Coupe, the 2025 is the last model year to get. Up front, this has the gloss black kidney grille with a forward-facing camera, plenty of cutouts to provide additional cooling, and there's also some carbon fiber trim accents on the inlets on both sides, as well as the lower section of the bumper there. There's also a sensor in the lower section for distance pacing, more cutouts in the lower section, and then LEDs for all of the lighting too. And then you'll notice some subtle lines coming down the hood just to give it a great look. This definitely has a large hood to it, but everything is proportional and makes it look very nice. Now this model also has a set of gloss black wheels with the very large M Sport brakes finished off in red. You'll notice the M8 competition badge along with more carbon fiber for that trim accent. It's also on the power folding side mirrors where there's a camera and a turn signal, and it's on the roof. So you get the carbon fiber roof to help lower its center of gravity. And there's also some really nice lines going down the side, especially in the lower side skirt off that trim accent, and then in the rear panel there. And then in back, this gets a carbon fiber spoiler. There's a backup camera with all the parking sensors, LEDs for all of the lighting, and then even more carbon fiber surrounding the dual exhaust tips on both sides. Definitely a nice touch to see surrounding those. And then you can use the button on the key fob or the release underneath to gain access to the cargo space, where this does have a power operating trunk. Now for this coupe, you have a good bit of space. There's no storage underneath the floor. You get a cargo net on one side, some battery access on the other, and then you can also fold down the back seats. They're a 50-50 split, so you have a latch on both sides to give you some more cargo space if you need to use it. And then you have two buttons up top to either close that trunk lid or to lock the vehicle. Now if you lock it, of course you can just grab either door handle and then take a look at this beautiful interior. You'll notice Alcantara along with leather, all of the stitching, brushed aluminum accents, and the Bowers & Wilkins audio. Now you have your window controls, side mirror adjustments, memory seating controls, lock and unlock, even a trunk release too. And then working your way to the three-tone for these seats. Leather, Alcantara, and the multiple colors and stitching give it a fantastic look. This is the release to pull on, and the seat is going to work its way forwards from there, allowing you to gain access into the back. Now you're not buying this for a full 4-seater, but at 5'10", I might be able to ride around town. You'd have to move the front seats accordingly, and I'm stuffed in the back here pretty good. So maybe if you have some younger kids, or I'm just going from one point to the other in the city, you could definitely make it work. And it's also good for additional interior storage as well for this coupe, so a little bit more practicality. Now as we hop in, we're greeted with a leather steering wheel, and then let's fire this up and take a listen to that beautiful V8. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster now, you'll see on the left side there's fuel and miles per hour. On the right side, there's your tach and engine temperature. Now to go through some more of that information, you'll use this button on the top of the turn signal stalk, where you can go through some vitals on that right side. So that is about all the information that you will be able to see within the gauge cluster, but you have a good bit to scroll through just depending on what you want to see. Now this also has M1 and M2, there's paddle shifters, and then on the right side there's volume tuning, Bluetooth and voice commands, and this button in the middle will pull up your radio and media adjustments on the head-up display. So you can view miles per hour, speed limit sign, and then pull that up as needed. And then on the left there's all the cruise and distance pacing adjustments. Now you have Alcantara for the entire lower trim accent here surrounding your headlight adjustments. There's one air vent, Alcantara, and leather for the dash, which is a fantastic touch. And then right in the middle with this touchscreen system, we can easily click on the home button, or you have some widgets that you can scroll through here, just depending on what you need to see. And then you have shortcuts on this left side to quickly get through this information. You can also use the rotary dial located down below to further go through all of these vitals. Now, if we go into the M menu, this is how you can get into M1 and M2 and customize these depending on how you would like the car to react. So you have shortcuts here that you can set up as needed. You can also look at your vehicle status, and you can get into various settings here depending on what you would like and how you want the vehicle to react. So you have quite a lot to go through. Now you also have the shortcuts down below, so you don't have to use it as a touchscreen system. You can simply use all of these to further go through that information. Now you also have a shortcut to the intelligent safety. So you have a few tech features that you can go into and configure as needed. Then you have air vents and another LCD screen for your climate. So you can look at your fan speed, temperature, where you would like the air to go. This even has heated and ventilated seats, so use one button to control both of those. And then you have some more defrosters and other AC adjustments. There's volume, presets, and tuning, and then you have wireless charging, auxiliaries, and cup holders underneath the carbon fiber lid. To put this into reverse, simply go to the left and up, and then you have the 360 camera system along with automatic parking and backup assistance. So you can go through all of these angles just depending on the visibility that you need to see, and you have quite a lot that you can look at. Then you have drive and sport mode. Park is located on the back, along with being able to adjust the transmission feel. Now you have traction control, a shortcut to the forward-facing camera to bring that up in full screen. There's also parking sensors, engine start-stop feature. And then when you go into M mode, this is how you can go into sport or track. So you can change the gauge cluster and the head-up display. So you can look at your RPM and miles per hour, and then look at all this vital information front and center. There's also a shortcut into M1 and M2 by clicking on setup. There's an exhaust note, auto hold, and the e-brake. You have an auxiliary with storage in the armrest, and then plenty of storage in the locking glove box there. There's garage door buttons up top, and then dome lights too, and this model has Alcantara for the headliner. And then here's a look at visibility. You have large windows for your passengers in the back, so that means that you can easily see over both shoulders. As we set off behind the wheel now for the BMW M8 Competition, it's interesting to see that potentially this is the last model year for the Coupe, when the Gran Coupe and the Convertible are still going to be produced, but I feel like the Coupe would be a little bit more common than the Convertible, and the Gran Coupe, just being a four-door version, makes a lot more sense with how practical that is. So maybe this is just a model that not many people get. Maybe they get the Gran Coupe instead, so that way you can better get into the back seats. But regardless, this is a fantastic vehicle. I don't get to drive these too often. I don't see them on the lot that often, and maybe that's another reason why we're not going to see this. But let's put it into all the Sport Plus settings now. And in sport mode, we also have it in the track setting here, or the sport setting. Just a minor acceleration. This wants to keep going. This is an extremely powerful coupe. It handles well, sounds good too. You can't go wrong with having that V8 engine. Definitely gives it a good vibe. And you also have a luxury focused coupe at the same time. So this is something that you could take it on some back roads, some twisties, maybe the track. It's going to weigh a little bit more than some of the other M models from BMW. So this is something that you could still do performance driving with, and it definitely has the capabilities to do it. But it is going to be a little bit heavier, a little bit larger of a vehicle. But from the numbers that I mentioned earlier, it doesn't seem to stop the performance figures that this has to offer. Now, in terms of just driving it like normal, very comfortable and luxury focused. This is obviously what you would expect from a BMW, and from this coupe, you're definitely getting all of those refinements, the luxury feel, all of these very premium feeling materials. This is a beautiful interior for this model. So this is something that you can drive on the daily basis, and just have a really nice place behind the wheel. And then when you're ready, you can push on a few buttons and unleash all of the performance that this has to offer. Paddles are also pretty responsive as well, so you are definitely going to have crisp shifts, and you can also adjust those shifts too. So I've mentioned this in other BMW reviews. Whether you're daily driving or you're on the track, you can set the car up to the driving conditions that you are in. So that way the transmission can feel comfortable for those situations. I think that's a really fantastic option to have. And it also works in the normal automatic mode too. So you can let the vehicle do the shifting in the slowest or the highest settings. It will rev out a little bit more in the highest settings and just give you that added performance. So I think that's a really cool benefit with this as well. And as we come around another turn, we can talk about its handling, where we don't even feel this turn. I'm not even moving, just at a normal rate of speed. It was solid around that turn. And we're still in Sport Plus second gear. Here we go. And in that quickest shifting setting, we are up to speed, very smooth in the shifts. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the M8 Coupe, and we have a really nice interior. It hasn't gone to that large curved screen. We'll have to wait and see if 2026 brings some of those models back, if it will get that latest update from BMW or not. But for now, this is a very nice interior with all the tech that you could possibly need. And then a great sound with that V8. Steering wheel also has the automatic adjustment, so you can get that dialed in. And we also have a height adjustment for the seat. At 5'10", I have probably 2 inches or so of headroom, so you could adjust that as needed. And you have a really good outlook. It's a little bit hard to see the end of the hood because it is so long, but with the edges and lines on that passenger side, I can easily place where that is in the road. So for its larger size compared to some of the other coupes from BMW, it's pretty easy to drive and place. Visibility is also very nice. You can see a little bit of that spoiler through the rear view mirror too. So you have a great outlook for this model and just a nice place to be. So if you're looking for something with this level of power, you just want a large coupe, this might be the last model year to get for the M8 Competition Coupe. But it's a great vehicle, super nice to drive. And then as far as its maneuverability goes, we can make a U-turn here where it's pretty tight here. So very easy to do that. And then we'll get back up to speed. And that is possibly going to wrap it up for the last review for the 2025 BMW M8 Competition Coupe. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads, and I will see you all in the next video.